Hi everybody, Cheaply Chic, Lynette here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be creating some collage tags. Those of you who have been part of my channel for a while know that this is something I typically love to do with every journal collection. I just love the uniqueness of adding a few collage tags to my personal journal. So today I am jumping right in. For some reason, I decided to cut that image off of my Flower Fairy book page that came in my kit. I don't think I touch it again in this video, but I will be putting it in my journal, so I did that first. I included it in the video. The other thing is this book page. It has that little image of part of a rug, and I just think that would make a super cute journaling spot. Again, I don't think I added it to my Blossom journal, but it's something I set aside to use in the future. So now I'm getting started. Typically when I'm making my collage tags, I have so many file folders that I've picked up in the thrift store that I typically use those as my base when I'm creating my tags. So I just went through and gathered some book pages. I am going to use a book page or two that came in the kit. I like including book pages for projects like this. So if books aren't something that you have a lot of that you can tear apart or make projects with, I do like to try to include a few of those in the kit. So here I'm using some of my scraps. I had some old music paper and I'm just going to put a large piece of that down in the corner. Today I also decided to use Distress Collage medium. Many of you already know, but you can use a lot of different mediums to make your collage tags. Because of the fact that we're moving into the summer months here in Florida, it's hot, it's humid, it's always humid, and if I use Mod Podge, it tends to stay a little sticky in my craft room. So one of the things that I enjoy about the collage medium is it doesn't have that sticky finish in the end, and then my tags aren't sticking to my journal pages. So that's what I'm using here today. And again, I'm just playing around with different shades of paper. I'm going to add 4 here on the base, and then I'm just going to use my tear ruler to go along the edges so I can cut out my tags. So I tend to make my tags a little different each time, but today I decided to cut them after I collaged the main master board of my file folder. But when I cut them, I had, I was paying attention to different elements. I did want it to look like a collage, so I made sure I cut my tags with some of the different papers included in each tag, if that makes any sense. So I am going to go over all of these tags with collage medium again. This is something I could have done before I cut them, but I don't think I really knew where I was going with this project. I decided to play with my distress crayons because it's been so long and I haven't used them. Distress crayons are a lot of fun. There's a little bit of a learning curve to them if you don't have them, but one of the fun things about them is they will go over the distress collage medium. So I'm making sure to coat those all down. I'm going to dry them and let them dry completely, and then we're going to play around with just mixing some of the colors from the distress crayons. So for those of you who are new to distress crayons or you haven't played with them before, one of the fun things about them is if you're going over the collage medium, I've also found using Mod Podge works well too. You can move the crayon around on the tag. If you don't use collage medium or Mod Podge, it's permanent. So that's just an interesting fun fact. If I wouldn't have coated my tags in the collage medium, I couldn't spray it with water and make it move around like paint would. So if you want it to have that effect, you definitely want to make sure that you use something over your tag first. And like I mentioned, I have tried this with Mod Podge and it works great too. And once again, I couldn't resist pulling out the metallic watercolors, so I decided that my tags needed a little bit of sparkle. So I'm reaching for these metallic watercolors. These are so much fun. I will leave a link for them in the description box for anyone who's interested. Here I'm starting out really light-handed on this tag. When I move on to the second tag, I tend to go a little bolder with my coloring and I'm not as scared to mess it up. So I'm having a little bit more fun here as I move along. So I finished the last two tags off camera and now I'm moving into doing a little stamping. One of the things, I know I've mentioned it before, that I love doing is using butterflies because of the fact that they're symmetrical on both sides. Is that the right word? So you can stamp them off one side and off the other and they still kind of look the same. I really enjoy doing that on the background of my tags. So that's what I'm going to be doing on each of these. I'm using a waterproof archival ink because of the fact that I did all of that painting in the background and used that collage medium. I want to make sure that the stamping stays on the tag. Alright, so as you can see, I added some tea stain paper to the back of my tags. I just like that finished look. And then this paper was so thick with the different papers and the file folder and the glue, I couldn't use my normal corner rounders. So the one on that envelope punch board worked great, and then I decided after everything dried to run it through my sewing machine and just to give it that stitched look. Now I'm going to add some focal points on the tag, and I decided to use some of my fairy stamps. I've done a few fairy collections over the years, so I already had some older fairy stamps in my collection. Now I used that stamp, but I want to say that I actually had to use it on this stamp board about 3 times because of the heavy ink on stamps like this. Sometimes it's best to use a Misty, I think they're called. That's one brand. This is a Tim Holtz stamp pad. I don't know what it's called, but it helps you stamp when you have to hit the image more than once so that you can line it up. You can see there's a little bit of ink, and I'm actually going to go over it again, and then I cut the 3rd time out of the video, but it did take 3 times to get my image nice and crisp. But I really appreciate that stamp board for that. So here I stamped a few more images. Now I'm just going to use my tear ruler, go around them, and add them to my tags. All right, now I'm just going to add some finishing touches to my tags. I decided to break out the washi tape. I had this really cute leaf pattern that they had at the Dollar Tree years ago. That's such a pretty washi. That's one of my favorite. I like mixing a couple different designs on each tag when I do them, so I'm going to play around with that, and then I'm also going to add some word stickers to finish them off. And for the last touch, I decided to get out the fibers that came in the kit, and I'm going to staple a few of them to the top of the tags. What I like about this is there's typically enough, I can cut it into 4 pieces, and I'm gonna have enough for each tag when I use the strings. So I'm just picking out a few colors. I'm going to staple those down, and then that's it for this video, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that those of you who had this collection, I hope that you're enjoying yours as well, and that it's bringing you a lot of joy. I actually had so much fun creating in this Blossom journal. I think I finished it up within a matter of 24 hours. Like, I know it was less than 2 days. So it was a lot of fun, and I've been having so much fun making little projects for it. So I hope you guys are enjoying yours as well. So again, the next collection I'll be releasing after my trip back home. So I will try to share little sneak peeks with you guys along the way. I have been working on it as I've had opportunity here. I've had my friend helping me, so that's been nice too. So again, you guys, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. Don't forget that the links to the design team are in the description box down below. I'll also link any of the supplies that I can find online for anyone who might be interested in those as well. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you guys in the next video.